it's such a relatable, I mean, like heartwarming, but it's just, I think it'll really strike a nerve in a good way with a lot of families out there. So congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it did had a lot of moms coming up at the end of the festival runs, when they watched it and going like, "Oh, that I've been there and I've done this and that was, so
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
excited."
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised. And I know you've worked with Edie Falco before. So what was it like re-teaming with her on a movie this time?
Edie's she's a class act. It's how I always explain working with Edie. She's very, not only is she an amazing actress, like everything comes across supernatural, and she kind of just gets the stories and gets the characters really well. Um, but teaming back up, I mean, we did a lot of Nurse Jackie, we did a little bit on a show called Tommy, and we just like to work with people we like to work with. So, you'll see like Paul Schulz is in the film, and he was the priest on Sopranos, and he was our priest here, and he was the pharmacist in Nurse Jackie. I mean, uh, when Edie and I were talking about this project, we just kind of wanted to team up like people we like to really work with, and kind of have a no jerk policy. We say that, but with that's the censored version of the no jerk policy.
Of course, of course. I totally get it. Yeah, no, it's a wonderful cast. And, in addition to Edie, of course, and the folks you mentioned. So, yeah, congrats on that. And was there, as director, looking at the script, was, a particular, something about the story or that really, drew you to it from the get-go, something that maybe struck a nerve with you personally, the certain family dynamic or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have three kids. They're all old. I just dropped one of them off in Atlanta to go start his, he's 19. I have a 16-year-old, so the family dynamic of it, I thought was super important. When I first read this script, it was 2020 and we were all locked in our houses, and at the crux of the film, it's about, realizing that being with your family and like living for your family is a good thing, and I feel like socially, we've all become, you know, worried about, keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up with the Kardashians, or, whose social media is like popping and what they're doing. And I don't know how many times they've been like, oh, look at what this person's doing. I'm like, well, that's like the best version of whatever anybody's doing, and,
Right.
to do a story about a mom that's like, the world around her is telling her like, like, what else do you want to do with yourself? And for in the end, it's just like, I wanted to be a mom, and I love being a mom, and it gives me all the joy in the world. So why can't that be enough? That's, to me, that I thought was an important thing for us to all kind of experience. And it's kind of a thank you note to moms out there and people who, it's not about staying home or not working or doing any of that. It's just like to really be present in your family. I think we can all go, oh yeah, that's right. There's all these people around me that I need to kind of pay attention to, and like they could use some help at times,
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there are a lot of valuable lessons to be learned, in watching this movie, without sounding like a, cliche, but yeah, no, I'm excited for everyone else to see it. So that's great.
I mean, I'm a big fan of not a preachy movie, so I'm like, it's not preachy. It's not
No,
like,
no, it's not.
you know,
It's not.
we just, it should feel entertaining. And then in the end, you're like, it's sweet. It's nice. You laughed, you had some cries, and in the end, you're like, yeah, okay, this is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely not preachy, and it's hilarious. And you know, families are messy, and including this one. So you know, it's wonderful. So yeah. And I know you like we talked about Nurse Jackie. Directed a number of episodes, and I know they're doing that sequel series. I was curious if you had heard anything about that. If you'd be interested in directing more episodes, when that comes along. But
I mean, I know as much as you know.
yeah,
Heard it. I've heard that it's happening, and that's about it. And yes,
yeah,
I would love. I mean, again, it's like when you're on a film or a TV show, like you kind of end up creating a family. On the movie, it was like the "I'll Be Right There" family, and like Nurse Jackie. Like there's people that we've all talked to millions of times, and have come back and you've worked together again, and you're always like, oh, it's like remember when we were on that show, and so like that is definitely out of a lot. I have a few shows that I was on for a while that you develop that kind of relationship, and it's always fun to go back and try it again and do and just keep kind of being around each other. I mean, I'm stealing this term from a director, but we play make believe for a living, so
yeah,
we have fun. It
yeah,
should be, we can be entertaining, it can be dark, it can be sad, it can be this, but like, we should all have fun with it.
of course. Yeah, I mean they're doing that with a lot of series. Revisiting hit series for a sequel or spin-off or whatever. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the original, so yeah, we'll see. And I know, and you've had your hand as director in a number of other acclaimed series, directing at least one episode from all these other great shows that I've seen. And I was curious, out of all of them, is there one that stood out for you, like a one-off episode that really kind of sat with you, that you still sort of think about a particular series? If there's an experience that comes to mind.
Um,
Might be a tough question. It's just curious.
well, yeah, I mean, it is a tough question because I mean, I would say, Nurse Jackie is where I got my start, where they took a chance, and then that chance led to so much more after it. Um, So, I mean, I also have been really excited about being in the Power universe,
Right.
which is kind of complete opposite things. I have this joke. I'm trying to craft a joke to post somewhere. I'm not a big social media person, but the premiere of this film and the premiere of the next season of the final season of Ghost, is all happening on September 6th. And I want
Oh,
to, there's got to be like a Barbie hammer kind of thing I can do, do that. But I mean, I don't have one specific, probably the first episode I ever did, the
yeah,
first full episode that I ever did.
yeah.
I directed a lot of little, second units, and I did a spec pilots and shorts, and that first episode of Nurse Jackie was probably kind of the most significant thing that kind of sticks out. Like, wow, this was,
Yeah.
big
It
deal.
makes sense. I mean, yeah, I'm sure, first experience like that will always kind of stick with you. So
Yeah.
I get it. Well, great. I mean, yeah, and I didn't realize that timing of the episode of Ghost with your movie. So
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody did, and I was like, "Oh, this is premiering that day." I was like, "That's when the movie." It's a totally different show. They're two totally different things. That's why I was like, "Barbie Hammer, yeah."
yeah, yeah, very cool. Well, awesome. Well, congrats on that. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't wait for everyone else to see I'll Be Right There. So yeah, you should be really proud of it, and congratulations again.
Yeah, we are, and thank you for putting it out there. I mean, it's indie film is super hard,
Yeah.
and getting a small indie film out to people, we're getting out to theaters is it's a challenge, and it's really exciting to kind of hopefully people will take their moms. I always wanted a Mother's Day release, but it couldn't happen. But getting it out to, hopefully everybody goes and takes their mom out and says thank you at the end of it.
Of course. Well, that's what on demand is for. When Mother's Day comes around,
Yeah.
this will be available. So, yeah. Well, cool. All right. Well, thank you, Brendan. It's nice to meet you, and let's do this on the next one.
All right. Thanks, Will.
All right. Thanks. Take care.
All right. Bye.